This video is sponsored by Willam.
Hello? Can I have a treat?
Melon seed is good?
Yeah, it's fine.
There you go. So, how was your day? Wilma, give her a treat, then go fuck yourself. Hello everyone. Drag Race UK Season 3 is starting today, and apparently there is some hot bullshit going on behind the scene that absolutely no one has been talking about. And if you're thinking about the controversy because of Victoria's Cone, no, it has nothing to do with that. In fact, it came directly out of Willam, no one other than Willam. And before we begin, please don't forget to like and share our videos. This is really important because YouTube is not really suggesting our content to anyone. In fact, if you noticed, I didn't even ask you to subscribe. That is because statistically, 95% of the people watching this video will be among those lucky subscribers who receive the notification, while the last 5% is probably a glitch in the matrix that caused the algorithm to actually suggest our content to someone. Don't worry, it will be fixed soon, but if you're among those lucky ones, please let me know in the comments. It will surely make my day. And this is happening because lately we have been on a sharp downward spiral. YouTube is slowly but surely purging our channel out of existence. So I guess those who are still in the algorithm favor will soon have nowhere else to go to find inspiration for their content and opinions. How nice is that? And speaking of inspiration, for the past months I've been keeping an eye on two different channels who seem to have made an habit of coming here and repurposing our content and research as their original ideas for their channel. Now, I kept an eye on both of you for the past months, and Nancy drew some incredible shit that's guaranteed to bankrupt you in a matter of days, maybe weeks if you're lucky. So cut that shit out, because I really ran out of patience. And speaking of patience, this is my 5th day without cigarettes, and boy oh boy, I'm seeing dragons flying in the skies in broad daylight. So if I sound more sassy than usual, well, that's why. Now, before we start serving tea, let's talk about the things you know already, specifically this guy. What's his name? Oh, Daniel.
Also, jetzt bin ich hier mit der junge Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
What's your name?
My name's Daniel.
Now, Daniel came out directly from the Victoria's Cone drama. Should we even call it drama at this point? I mean, what about drama? Because there is not that much going on there, but this twink seemingly pretending to be offended that a biological woman was cast on Drag Race. Now, let's conveniently forget the fact that Drag Race has gone mainstream because women have started watching. Because we, the gays, we were like 5% of today's fandom. And straight men, yes, they might be watching Drag Race, but, you know, it's not like they're tuning out from whatever they're watching to watch Drag Race. Statistically, the vast majority of the people supporting this billion-dollar industry called RuPaul's Drag Race are women. Queens can do drag full-time now because of that, instead of having day jobs and showing at the bar for $1. And what a career! We're talking about 8 digits for the luckiest ones, 7 for the moderately successful queens, and 6 for everyone else. This franchise is successful because on one end, people have been working their ass to produce it, and on the other, the fandom is making it financially viable by voting with their wallet. So let's not pretend that women don't have any role in all of this, shall we? So the question here is, can women do drag? Well, if you need to think about it, I probably won't enjoy having a conversation with you. Drag is an art, and art belongs to everyone. Now, an exception can be made for Drag Race, because Drag Race has been a show for queer people. Since the very beginning, it's always been about us, it's always been about our stories. And you know that our stories are not really pretty. Most of us has really lived fucked up life, have really had to survive fucked up situation and still continue to survive fucked up situations. And this show allowed our stories to be told. Before it, everything we had was fucking Will and Grace. Can you imagine about being beaten to death by your father from Will and Grace? Can you imagine about being raped at a party from Will and Grace? It didn't fucking happen. Personally, everyone who is part of our community is more than welcome to join the cast of this drag show, because this show is about us and about our stories, independently of gender identity and gender orientation. And Victoria is a lesbian woman, so Where's the problem? For me, she's more than welcome to participate. Of course, some will disagree, like this twink right here. What was it called again? Daniel Perez. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
What's your name?
My name's Daniel.
Who is seemingly pretending to be offended by the fact that they cast a lesbian woman. So let's not talk about this person too much, because let's be honest, watching paint dry is probably more interesting than that. By the way, did you notice that you had a lot of shoes and no furniture there? I guess that's not important. Now, don't take my opinion as gospel. As a matter of fact, I didn't suffer through the whole video, because after all, I still prefer to self-harm the old-fashioned way. But I have the distinct vibe that Daniel doesn't really give two shits about Victoria, except for the opportunity of jumping on a controversy train and gain some visibility, some clout, make some quick bucks, and maybe, even redecorate his room. Oh, Daniel, get a fucking job. And if you still think that Tuck does give them a kind of unfair advantage, just go fuck yourself already. Drag stopped being about strict female impersonation like a million years ago. Now, I hope you brought cake, because we have tea. Let's start with something positive first. Now, Drag Race UK Season 2 was the best season of Drag Race in ages. The queens were a very dynamic group, the drama was real, it was organic, there were twists and turns here and there, and each of them felt legitimate, like halting filming because of the pandemic, or the premature departure of Veronica Green. But most importantly, there was little to no editing magic involved. That's because by BBC rules, they cannot Frankenstein confessionals to have queens basically say whatever they want whenever they want to, like it happens in the US, for example. Unfortunately, there seem to have been some problems with filming for season 3. And before we listen to what Willam had to say about this, I want to thank the poor soul that sent me this link. I'm sorry, but I accidentally deleted my notes and I cannot give you credit for the find, but you know who you are, so thank you. Also, I will be playing some music in the background just in case someone gets the insane idea of just editing my video instead of finding the original audio for themselves. Why research when you can repurpose, right? What can I say? No one has the amazing fans we have.
Season 3 of Drag Race was filming over here, and they did 1 episode a day. They cranked it the fuck out because Rue had to film something else right after, I guess, the international season.
For UK Season 3?
Yeah, they're already done filming.
They filmed 1 episode per day?
Per day.
Now, keep in mind, traditionally, each episode is 2 days of shooting.
Or sometimes 3. The first episode sometimes takes 3 days. They cranked these girls out like they were on a teaspoon with some water and a Bic.
Apparently, filming for Drag Race UK was a complete shit show. According to Willam, the girls had to film 1 episode a day because production was out of time. Do you remember what happened the last time a Drag Race production ran out of time? Well, we covered the whole issue in detail for Drag Race Down Under, and I'm not going to bore you and go again through all of details and complications that made that whole season go downhill in a way that we never saw before in the franchise. But suffice it to say, if you're out of time, you need to start cutting on filming, cutting on post-production, cutting on editing. You simply don't have time to make a show anymore. And since you know already that you will not have much time, you gotta be proactive, especially with your storyline. You need to start stirring shit up during filming, push a queen here, push a queen there, and somehow give an incentive to the development of some storylines. So expect some crazy critiques. It's critiques, not critique, mind you. Critique is bullshit masquerading as feedback to push storyline. It's not a critique. Of course, expect a nonsensical placement, queens in the bottom belonging to the top, and vice versa. And all of this, it's because you don't have time to let things happen organically and refine everything later on in editing, because guess what? You won't have time later on. And since your fake storylines didn't happen organically, they will feel shallow and not entertaining to the viewer. So you're going to need a lot of shock value to make up for the loss, and a ton of it. So expect that as well. Now, filming 1 episode a day is madness already. Imagine waking up about 7 a.m., be ready on set by about 8 a.m., start filming the mini challenge, the preparation for the maxi challenge. Then you have maybe an hour for lunch pause, and then immediately back to the main challenge, rehearsing, 1 hour for dinner, then getting in drag, mirror moments, more filming, main stage, lip sync, then to bed when? 10, 11, then do it all again tomorrow for a whole week. I guarantee you're going to get crazy. But that is what happened, according to Willam. And that's not the end of it.
Girls got injured because they weren't given time to warm up. Girls were mistreated. The girls tried to stand up for themselves.
Wait. What? Where?
Yeah.
When?
On the BBC, the mental health coordinator, which is required on reality television for the BBC, he said that this will be his last season on the show. Because it was just so shoddy. They were treating the girls like shit. And apparently the BBC is paid for by the taxpayers from the nation. So the fact that they're treating these girls like shit, it's illegal to work them the way that they work them, the hours that they work them, and treating them how they treated them. So, girl, I'm going to talk to the girls about forming a union while I'm over here.
So they overworked them so hard that the mental health coordinator decided to quit. Now, for those of you who don't know, it's standard practice to have a psychologist on set during filming for reality television, especially when the contestants are sequestered in their room. And that's because the stress of being locked away from the world for some people can become simply too much, and you really don't want to run into serious problems, possibly someone injuring themselves, maybe injuring others just because they lost their shit. And you are going to lose your shit, because if you think that lockdown was hard, imagine not even access to your phone or the internet. On top of that, you're being overworked, you're underslept, probably not even being granted lunch or dinner pauses at the right time because you're on a tight schedule, or maybe you're not even fed properly. Never forget what happened during filming for season 4. So you need a psychologist there, probably the same psychologist who you had the pleasure to meet during the casting process, the one in charge of giving your application a green light, or as I like to say, the one suggesting to production what makes you click and slowly guiding the story producers on how to make you fall in line without much of a fuss. But I digress. So, let's go back to Willam. Willam also spoke of the queens getting injured. It's possible that we won't see any of that if production decides to bury everything that happened, according to Willam, of course. But while you watch the season, please try to identify which challenges could have led to physical injuries and how do the queens behave afterwards. Because if injuries did really happen and production decided to hide them, I'm willing to bet that it will be for storyline purposes. Someone gets injured, performs badly, we, the viewers, get told nothing about what really happened, and then that person gets thrown under the bus as if he or she was simply lazy. We've seen worse things happening in this franchise, so I wouldn't be surprised if something like this happens. Now, I won't be covering Drag Race UK Season 3 with the chop, as we've done for All Star 6 and Season 13, but please keep your eyes open. I will be coming on livestream every now and then, and if I notice anything shoddy, surely we can talk about it. But having a regular show with regular live streams and regular episodes, it's just not possible at the moment, because we have bills to pay and the channel is barely paying its own. But if you like our content and you want to help, you can support us on Patreon and especially share our videos, because that YouTube won't do it and we basically have no one else to rely on but our viewers. As usual, a special thanks to our patrons who already support the channel, and a warm welcome to Jennifer who just joined last week. Have a great day, and I will see you soon.